inmates, people, we bring a lifelong relationship with the television with us wherever we go. And I can remember it used to say, the broadcasting day is over, at the very end. Well, we're actually doing some of that in the correctional facility in terms of the schedule. It's time to, the meal changes, the request to go back to their cells, the politeness that we put up there based on your cultural request. You said, say please and thank you. Mm-hmm. And so the message says, day room use is over, please return to your cell, thank you. Mm-hmm. And when the inmates see these things, when they see this request and the TV is telling them what's happening, there's no ego in that. There's no resisting the authority figure. This is their friend, the TV, telling them that.
Well, the TV is not on a power trip. A lot of times, different personalities respond differently to each other. So if I have a deputy that has, say, a really dominant personality, and some inmates are not going to respond well to that. So he says, TV time's over, cell in. Some of them will drag their feet just out of defiance. That particular piece of the schedule is really powerful because in those units that were on a schedule, we've put up on the TV about 2 minutes before the day room ends, a message comes up and says, hey, day room time is over, please cell in. And there's no argument because, the TV told them so, but because they know that the next transition is that the TV is going to move to music. It's automatic. They're not dependent or waiting to see if the deputy will actually turn the TV off. They're not going to milk it for every moment. The system does what the system's supposed to do on schedule. There's no point in hanging around to see if you can get 2 more seconds of TV because it's not going to happen. TV's let you know, programming's over, it's time to go back to your cell. And we put that message out a little bit, a few minutes early and allowing that transition. So it gives them time to process, TV's over, day room's over, okay, I need to get this together and then move towards my cell. And we've seen a huge improvement in responses, from the inmates moving back to their cells, doing what they're supposed to do, and not a word from the deputy. And particularly powerful in those units where we don't have a deputy present all the time. Again, on a schedule, doing what it's supposed to do, and they're getting up and doing, that request. Okay, day room's over, or hey, prepare for meals, or any of the messages that we put up there on our schedule makes them aware and trains them.
When the TV is on, you have volume in your housing unit. Some facilities run FM broadcasts headsets. You also do that. Mm-hmm. But the idea that the TV is no longer acting like it was a moment ago gives a transition, creates that change moment for everybody.
And it's the same transition every time. It's not a different staff member delivering the same message in a different way. It's the TV said so, and that's huge, because again, we're taking personalities out of it. We're allowing the media to deliver the message, and they seem to respond better to that. So, and that goes back to our point about the putting up rule violations or rule reminders. It's not the sergeant coming up there and saying, look, you guys have been doing this terrible, you got to get it together, if you don't start doing this, again, kind of a talking head thing. Instead, they see the message delivered. It's not interrupting them. They're getting the message while they're still watching TV, and they're cueing into it, and it's going into their brain, and they're locking it in there and going, oh yeah, I need to remember to make my bed every morning. That's a good point, Do they all respond to it? No, but what we see is less confrontation. Allows the deputy to spend more time focused on what he really needs to be focused on. Sometimes it gives them more time to have that conversation with that inmate that needs that additional attention about their behavior, or maybe there's an inmate that needs some counseling, or there's an inmate in crisis in need of response, and they need to dedicate some time and resource to helping that inmate through that moment. They don't have to worry about the other behaviors. The TV provides that kind of constant information supervision going on.
You're watching Corrections Network Media.